What's up? We are back again, but this time it's a little different. It's not a Bottas video. It is my first video of my new racing league. We are starting out in Bahrain, and it's a racing league I've set up with a load of other people. I think we have 15 for this race, which is a decent turnout for the first race of the season. Hopefully as we go further through we can get more and more, and maybe eventually a full grid, and that'll be good fun. But so yeah, here we are in Bahrain. We're going to come out on the medium tyres to start with, just because we want to get used to the track, understand it a bit more, learn my braking points. Obviously I've done a lot of practice before this, but yeah, the first lap can always be cold, and plus we don't want to use up all the tyres. We want to save a set of softs for the race in case of a safety car or anything crazy happens at the start. And in the background you will hear my voice from the stream. I can't do anything about that. That'll be there. But here we go, going into turn one. We go a little bit deep, miss the apex just a bit. Coming through here, it looks pretty decent. It's just a solid first lap, just something that we can just get us time on the board for. Looking for the 127s, maybe if it's an unbelievable lap, get into the 126s, but I don't think it is. Coming around the last corner, we're going to cross the line, and it's going to be a 127 too. So it's a decent time. It's just a time just to get used to the track, so we didn't need anything special coming out of it. So here we are on the first lap on our softs, and we are P7 on the mediums, so I'm looking at maybe top 3, top 4 for this race in qualifying. So coming into turn one, it is a bit slow. I could have braked a lot later, but still it is positive on the delta, obviously, because we are on the soft tyres and they're about a second quicker around here, and it's looking like a clean lap, a good banker lap. We just don't want to invalidate it, because then that puts all the pressure on us on the last lap to put in a good time. Coming down to this really tight left-hander, we didn't lock up, which was good, and it felt smooth through there. And we're about 6-7 tenths up. Now we're 9 tenths up coming to the final corner. It's going to be about a second, so it's a decent lap time. Definitely could be better. I think we're going to come across as a 126.1. Yeah. And in practice, I've been doing about 125.6, 125.7, but that's always, that's one of those special laps. So, but I could definitely get within the 125, so it's a bit frustrating that I am a little bit out of it. And you can see here we are in 6th, our teammate's in 8th, about 4 tenths behind us. So he can improve as well. He's got time in him. He's been doing in the low 126s, the 125s as well. So it's not been the greatest qualifying so far. And NYC is about a tenth ahead of us. So coming into turn one, we know we've got time here. We're going to brake later, just around the 100-meter mark, and it's much smoother through here. Already a tenth up. Coming through turn 2, we're coming out, we're almost 2 tenths up. So that's a much better sector 1. Obviously, with track evolution, we're going to improve, but 2 tenths is a big improvement. Now here we go from the left to the right, and we hit the curve a bit too much. We lose the rear end. We managed to save it, but we lose about a tenth and a half, and that's very frustrating, because it was looking like a solid lap. But still 2 tenths up almost coming into this tight left-hander, so he's still up on our time. We brake a little bit early, go over the curve, and it's not great through there either. And we're just over a tenth up.
I was up 3 tenths and I lost it.
And you can hear my frustration in the stream. And so we've got to put in a good sector 3. We know we're about a tenth behind NYC from our first lap. So with this time right now, we will be beating him. So we have to finish it, we have to get through. We go wide here, and that's usually an invalidation, but we come back on the track and we didn't get one. So I got very lucky there. So we're still just over a tenth up coming into the last quarter. It's nice through the last quarter, a tenth and a half.
So much better.
So it's going to be an improvement. It's going to push us, I think, up to P4. It does push us up to P4, but for how long? You can hear me in the background saying the same thing, but for how long? NYC comes across the line on his final flyer. He's on a 126.064. What can he do? He does a 126.017. So we do stay in P4, which is probably about where we were in the grid. I mean, I've done a 25.5, I've done a 25.6, but that's always like the perfect lap, and you're not always going to get the perfect lap in qualifying. So I will I will take that, and I'll be happy with that. Starting P4 for the race.
I was running
He's not bad at all.
fucking 120s.
And you can hear Kuki there, my teammate. He's not ugly. I think he started P8 now, I think.
I'm
So
going to be soft medium.
not the greatest qualifying from him, but something that you can definitely recover from and get a good position in the race. So I think we are both going soft, medium, softs for the race. Obviously, we both have to start the soft tyres because that's what we qualified on. And we've done the formation lap. Nothing goes on in the formation lap. So we're just going to stick past that. Look, mate.
Yep, good luck, buddy.
And here we are. So we've got... We are good at starts of this game. I get away from the line pretty well. So starting from P4, we've got Big Man with the gun on our left, we've got Acre in the front and Panini in the front. Livid, who is probably the favourite to win, he crashed in qualifying and I think he's starting P7. So if we can get away from him, that'll be good. So here we are, 5 red lights on in Bahrain, and away we go. We get a great start compared to Big Man with the gun. We are away, and then...
Oh my fucking god, I've binned it.
There's my reaction.
I've absolutely...
There is my reaction. I've had an absolute howler. I got the throttle too quick and put it in the wall, and I was kind of lucky that I didn't have to retire. And going into turn 1, it was pretty clean for everybody. I think Toto, went off the track, came back on, and I think he might have caused a couple of people to have wing damage. But other than that, it was pretty clean, which probably isn't good for us because not a safety car, no safety car is going to come out. We get a VSC. But that's going to be it. So a virtual safety car will help us stay within the group till the end of the lap. But we've got to pit anyway to get on to change our wing. And the decision we have now is: do we go mediums to hards, or do we go hards to mediums, or hards to softs if we could take it all the way and manage the tyres? And I do decide to put on the hards because then it gives us 2 different options. If we want to switch onto the mediums around lap 16, 17. We can, or we can push it to lap 20, 21 and put on the softs and be fast towards the end of the race. So yeah, we come in with 3 other cars, I think, to pit, and obviously now we're going to be quite far away. But it's a long race, people are going to spin, maybe crash, maybe more wing damage, and maybe a safety car later on in the race to help us out. But you look at that mini-map in the bottom left, you can see
20.
They're like half a lap ahead of us, which is frustrating because I do feel fast around here. I felt I could have been in the top 4 and then definitely finished top 5. So coming out the pits, you could see the tyres are cold, a bit wobbly. But we eventually catch up to Syracuse, who had to pit that first lap with us as well, and we're both going on the same strategy. We went on the hards, and yeah, we either go on the mediums or the softs, and you can see a bit of lag there. I think I was getting that quite a bit with Syracuse when we were fighting him. He was jumping forward back, and I think a couple of times it definitely scared me. I thought I was going to run into the back of him or something, but it was a pretty easy overtake down into turn 1. We go a little bit deep, almost lose on the curve, and yeah, so he's going to come right back at us, going into turn 3, and he's got the inside, and that's nice and easy for him. So, or turn 4 I think it is. So yeah, he gets back past us, but then you see that he glitches back behind, so we take it on him again, and that's fine by me. But we've got both Ferraris behind us. I think Toto had a bit of a spin, but he's on the mediums, so he gets past Syracuse pretty easily, and now it's all about just trying to hold him up for as long as possible. So coming through here, to the left, to the right, and we've got Toto just pushing us all the way, and we've got to be careful. And he is a bit too far behind, but he does go for the dive bomb, so we leave him plenty of room as we see him coming. We go as wide as we can. I think he touches our inside wheel. We couldn't give him any more room. And so he spins, and he's basically out of the race. And you hear me there saying, give him much room as he could. I couldn't give him any more. So, yeah, I think he did clip my wheel and spin. Luckily, it didn't hurt our race or do anything for us. But on to lap 11 now, and it's kind of a bit of a boring race as I go wide, and I'll just let Syracuse back in it. It was mainly just me versus Syracuse throughout this race, because 7th is Neon Embers, and 7th up is for everybody that didn't make a mistake in lap 1, and 8th down is for everybody that has made a mistake and are fighting for these remaining points positions. And yeah, so just getting away from Syracuse, and I'll make that mistake, and he's back on me. So fair play to Syracuse. He was racing very well this race. He was we were having a good old fight on these hard tyres. A tyre that I didn't want to use this race because they are awful to drive. I was practicing on them before, and yeah, I decided I did not want to go on a hard tyre, but obviously circumstances made it, so I had to. And coming up on Syracuse, we get the speed, we turn off DRS because we don't want to get too close, and we should be able to get a decent exit. And you can see that lag, and it's just, it makes me slam on the brakes, scares me. So I'm putting all my ERS down to make sure I get past him, because one of these times that's gonna ruin me.
So much for that, eh?
I go on the inside, go wide, lose a position.
Hey,
and yeah,
that was my second warning.
And you could hear my frustration. The problem was, I thought that was my second warning. I had only had one before that, at least one that I had seen. So that was just annoying in itself, and let alone the fact that I lost a place at that corner. So I think that was bad enough, but to give me the 3-second penalty there, I think was a bit harsh. Even a warning I think would have been harsh because I had lost the position. But going down to turn 1 against Syracuse, we go deep again, and we just can't seem to get the braking on the car. And it's just frustrating.
I don't know what's wrong with me right now.
And something that I did is I changed the setup the day before the race. I put in a whole new setup. I think it was Hjallapenos' setup. And I think that might be the problem. I don't think the race pace is there, and I don't think I was fully comfortable with it yet. I think I should have stuck with my other setup and used that, because I definitely felt better on it. And I don't know why I used this one. I just felt I would have more pace, but I used it, and I think it was the wrong decision in the end. So you live and you learn. Maybe for Spain I might have to stick with my own setup and go with that. But on to lap 14, we are still fighting with Syracuse, and it's going to go down to the wire by the looks of it. You know, we have similar pace. We just keep overtaking each other and kind of holding each other up, really. But there's nothing really to fight for ahead of this. So it's what we're pushing 7th place, but they're 17-18 seconds ahead, and we're gaining maybe a couple tenths per lap on them, if even. And coming around now, you see Syracuse lose it, 2 seconds behind, and that's everything we needed right there. Just a bit of a breathing room. He got the 3-second time penalty as well, so we got 2 seconds on Syracuse, and now we can kind of relax and just do our own race. And at this point I decide I am going to go to the softs, so I'm going to wait until around lap 20 or 21 for the softs. And behind us, Syracuse comes into the pits, so he's committed to the mediums. He's going to go on the mediums to the end of the race, and that's going to be a big undercut on us, especially as we're not pitting for another 2-3 laps. But we come in lap 21, and during those 3 laps, Syracuse actually spun it, and he lost it. So I knew around lap 19 that it's not going to be a worry. He's not going to be able to catch us because he spun it, lost about 15 seconds. And we can come in the softs and come out ahead of everybody pretty comfortably and just do our own race to the end. And as long as we don't lose it, it should be a pretty simple 8th place finish. And we come out of the pits ahead of NYC. So yeah, we just got loads of clear air. You see Kuki, my teammate, he got ahead of Neon in the Alpine, but he does have that 8-second time penalty. So it's a tight race for him. He needs to pull out a 5-second gap, and it's looking like he could do it. And we are just on lap 25 by ourselves, nothing going on. Just don't lose the car. Just keep it going, keep it to the end of the race, and we should be good.
Just push for that 5-second gap. See if you can get it on it.
And yeah, there you go. Neon has spun it, so the 5-second gap he needed was given to him, and now it's just us trying to push Neon, especially after seeing the spin. We don't know if he has wing damage or not, but it turns out he doesn't. 3 laps later, you can see we close that gap down by 5 laps. 5 seconds. So that's a 5-second gap we've closed in 3 laps. So it's about 1.5 seconds we're closing per lap, but it's not going to be enough. We're coming into lap 29.
Time to bring it home.
And towards the end of the race, we just backed off in the end. You know, just made sure we bring it home. Going around the final turn, and it's going to be 8th place in our first race in the series, which is a bit disappointing, especially
P8.
starting.
P6, P8, not bad.
especially starting P4, losing it off the start. It was a bit disappointing. But I mean, at the end of the day, P8, P6 is a double points finish. It's not awful. Could be a lot worse. And yeah, congratulations to Livid for the first race win of the season. You got Akram and Panini up there, and I think that's going to be a 3-way fight at the top. Those three look very fast. But yeah, anyway, it was a great race. Thank you everybody for racing. I'll see you next time.